Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Busi Selesho. I'm an international accredited money coach, a money consciousness teacher, and energy healer. So welcome back. Today I wanted us to talk about something that is a big problem. Forgiveness. So we are not just talking about forgiveness. We're talking about self-forgiveness. Forgiving yourself. So forgiveness is one of those things that we are told that if you don't do, it is like drinking poison and hoping that somebody else dies. Because forgiving somebody kills you more than the person you are angry at. Okay, now that is when you need to forgive somebody else. But you can't forgive somebody else when you haven't forgiven yourself. Every time in spirituality, there's this concept that when you blame others, you are very far from being enlightened. When you start to blame yourself, you are getting there. And when you know that all is well and you're not blaming anybody, then you have arrived. So, for you to be able to forgive somebody else, you have to forgive yourself first. So, sometimes you are angry at somebody because they cheated on you. The reason why you are angry at them for cheating at you, it's not really that you're angry at them. You are actually angry at you for staying there and being like, you know what? The signs were always there. I just didn't want to see them. You know what? I've always thought that I wasn't good enough. No, that's why they cheated. There are so many reasons why you blaming them for that and you angry at them and you think you should be forgiving them, but actually the real person that you have a problem with is you. Because I promise you, if somebody cheats on you and you're not blaming yourself for anything, you will not be angry at them. You'll be like, actually, thank goodness you cheated. Now I get to dump you and move on. Like, you are so excited. Like, I think you've seen somewhere in Facebook, people be like, I'm so glad this relationship is over. I was like hoping so much that it can be over. I just didn't know what could cause it to come to an end. And then now that this person has actually done this, I'm actually so happy. They are not angry at the person cheating. They're actually happy the person did it so that they can come out of this. Because guess what? They are not angry at them for that. So, forgiving ourselves, it's the most important thing. I have had this for a long time. I was angry at my father for abandoning me, for just turning his back on me and going on and having his amazing life while I wasn't eating, while I couldn't afford to go to school and all those things. I was so angry at him, but only when I was doing the work to fix me, I was able to forgive him. But what I was doing was saying, I am the one that got benefits out of this. I was the one who learned how to stand on my own. I was the one who learned how to go into business while I was 13 years old. I was the one who actually benefited from all of this. He just felt guilty all his life. I benefited so much from this. So at first, I was angry that maybe I wasn't good enough. Oh, he took care of all his children. Why me? All these things that I was feeling that I had done something to deserve him not looking after me. There were so many things that I thought I was the reason why. And as much as I could not have said them, I was like, I blame him for it. He was supposed to be a father. What's wrong with him? But I wasn't actually blaming him for that. I was blaming me for not being the perfect child. I was blaming me for not being number one. I was blaming me for being number last, as if I chose that. I did, but no, I chose it in another way. But I was angry at all those things that there must be something that made him not want me. And I've got so many clients that their root chakra is damaged and they can't manifest things they want. They can't have a stable life. They can't keep a relationship. They can't go on in their careers because their root chakra is messed up. And it is because of that. You have this big problem that you are blaming yourself unconsciously some of the times for things that happened that caused somebody to do something. And then on the conscious level, you just like, it's them, it's their fault, it's their fault. But you have not looked at the part that you have in this. So, and the biggest thing that I've seen over the years is that forgiving yourself first for anything, forgiving yourself that you stayed in the relationship, forgiving yourself that you knew that this was happening, but then you just tried to think maybe not. Forgiving yourself for somebody saying, oh, you know what, I'm doing these things because I got traumatized while I was young. That's why I have so many girlfriends. I was abused. That's why. I mean, they're coming with all this and they're like, okay, wait for me. I'm fixing myself. I promise you, I will not do this again. I'm working on myself. And then you stay. And then you stay because you are waiting for them to fix themselves. While this is charging on your blood. Literally, you are the one who's getting abused. They are having fun. They're having you and everything else. I mean, a person who's really fixing themselves, they will stop the relationship with you because they see how much they hurt you and actually go and fix themselves. They wouldn't say, oh, I want you, but I also want to fix myself. A person who's telling the truth, they will stop the relationship with you and they will go and fix themselves. And they wouldn't even ask you to wait for them because they don't want to hurt you, because they really care about you. Other than that, that person is just lying and you buying the lie, and you know you're buying the lie because you are the one with the problem here. The one who is staying in the drama is the one with the problem. So find that need in you to forgive yourself. And then there's also things that we've done consciously, like knowingly that I shouldn't be eating sugar, and you ate it and then now you're feeling sick. I've seen also a lot of clients that know that they are overweight and they are sick, and it's because of things they've done or things they are not doing. Or things they know exactly that I know the doctor told me and I've done this. I remember there's once a lady, so I've got this weight loss program that I sell to my clients. It's not just a weight loss program, it's an emotional weight loss program. So it deals with the emotion and the spiritual part of the person that needs to do the weight loss. So yeah, it's quite a little bit complicated, like I wouldn't explain it now. But this lady came to me, she's like, I've got this diabetes and my high blood pressure is so high. I'm about to not be able even to go to work. But the problem I know is this and this and this, all the things she's doing. And now she knew exactly what she was doing wrong, but she couldn't stop. But the thing is, she wasn't forgiving herself that even today I went back and I drank the whatever alcohol I wasn't supposed to drink. I went back and I did this and I did that. She was just having all that guilt and that shame and that sadness and that I'm a failure. She wasn't allowing herself to say, okay, fine, I did it. It was wrong. I need to forgive myself for doing it because I did not have the power to not do it. So I said to her, you know what? You first need to forgive yourself. You have to go through the program of forgiving yourself and then say, since I was able to forgive myself, and now this program is going to help me to not want these things, to not want to eat these things. And when she did that, I think she lost about 30 kgs just from forgiving herself, and then having the program that helped her to not wake up and want these crazy things and not losing her mind while she goes through and try to fix her life. So she had to forgive herself for a lot of things that she did wrong. So there are things that we do to ourselves. I mean, sometimes you do things to other people and you wish those people forgive you and they can forgive you. But if you haven't forgiven yourself, it's not going to work. You have to forgive yourself. When you forgive yourself, even those who you have hurt, knowingly or unknowingly, they find it in their heart to sort of get it. But you have to do the work. And forgiving yourself is the most hardest thing. I promise you, it's so difficult to forgive yourself. It's better to actually punish yourself. So many people punish themselves for stuff they've done. So many people punish themselves for choosing the wrong partner. And they're like, oh my God, I chose the wrong partner. I've already married them. I'm going to stay with them. I'm going to try and make it work. I've already chose the wrong job. I'm going to stay with it. I've already went to a tertiary and studied 4 years. I'm going to just stay here. It's so easy for people to punish themselves than to forgive themselves so that they can move on. Because the thing is that once you forgive yourself, you actually open a new chapter to say, okay, fine, it was a mistake. I did it, but now I forgive myself for doing it. Then what's next? Because once you forgive yourself, then anything is possible. You are availing yourself. You are allowing yourself to choose something else because you're closing the chapter. When you forgive yourself, you're closing the chapter. I stayed in this relationship while I knew that this wasn't good for me. Maybe I didn't know this wasn't good for me. And then I just found out that, oh no, I wasn't supposed to be here. This was actually wrong for me. This was actually abusive to me. This was actually taking my energy and my strength away. But I didn't know all this time. I just thought whatever that you thought. Yeah, you didn't know. You didn't know this was wrong. Now you know. Forgive yourself so that you can be able to move on. Forgive yourself so that you can be able to find a job that's perfect for you. Forgive yourself so that you can be able to find a friendship that's good for you. It could be anything. So, forgiving ourselves is not just for fun. It is for moving on. If you really want to move on in life, if you really want to go and have the things you want, you really need to forgive. Even if, I had to forgive myself for putting myself into 40 million rand debt. And nothing happened that changed my life until I forgave myself for that. And I used to ask myself, I'm 27 years old. How do I owe the bank 40 million? What is wrong with me? I look around other 27-year-olds. No, they don't have such problems. And what is wrong with me? But I had to forgive myself because I didn't even understand what had happened. At that moment, I didn't even understand what I did wrong. But I was just trying to make a life for myself. How did I land myself in this? I had to forgive myself. And in the space that I'm in the finance space, so many people find so many reasons to so many things to blame. You blame apartheid, you blame that you are black, you blame that you are a woman, you blame that men earn more, you blame that men have better opportunities than you, you blame patriarchy, you blame everything. There is so many things you are blaming. And I promise you, maybe those things are real, but they don't have to apply to you. They only apply to the people who haven't done the work. Once you do the work, patriarchy will not be part of you. Being apartheid will have affected you, but you're going to heal once you forgive yourself. For the fact that you're black, so many people need to forgive themselves for being black, because being black is the most wonderful thing. But if you haven't done the work, you're going to think it's a case. So, yeah. If it has to do with, I know people who they've lost their children because they blame themselves. I took my child to the wrong hospital. I should have not eaten this. My baby would have not. Maybe I would have not got a miscarriage. I shouldn't have done this. Those things, they happened. You need to forgive. Either you think you did something, or you think you should have done something. You need to forgive yourself. It has happened. It has happened. You need to forgive yourself. So, it ranges from that to having a child that is maybe not gets to be broke. I've seen parents who are 50 and their kids, they are 20 and they are a mess. And they say to me, Busi, how do I make my children want to go to school and have a better life? What's wrong with me? What have I done wrong as a parent? Whatever you've done, it's done. If you could have done right, you could have done wrong, but it's done. You need to forgive yourself so that you can move on. What can you do? Nothing. So forgive yourself. That's all you can do so that you can move on. And moving on can be anything. So, I mean, it could be you blaming yourself because your business died. I should have done more sales. I should have hired a girl, not a boy. I should have called more people. I should have went out. I should have done this. I should have sent more quotations. I should have never slept. I should have worked 24 hours. The business would be still alive. Well, it's over. It is done. Whatever that happened. Forgive yourself so that you can move on. If you don't forgive yourself, that cycle will keep repeating itself. The course that we were doing in December and which is still available, Aligned Into You, that is the work that we're doing. Cutting the cords to those kind of relationships, cutting the cords to your own behaviors. If you know that I'm not supposed to be drinking every day and you find yourself drinking every day, you need to forgive yourself. Then cut the cord so that you can be able to not do the thing that you know hurts you. But you need to forgive yourself first. It's not going to happen just because you don't want it to happen. So I am just doing this video because it's something that I've seen in so many sessions that I've been doing with my clients that runs as a common thread. Forgiving yourself is so important. You can't move on when you haven't forgiven yourself. Some people even, and this is actually, it's ladies. I mean, like, I don't know why. So many people have this problem where a relationship, they wanted to end a relationship and they're blaming themselves for ending a relationship with a guy. And they like, people probably think I'm a slut, this and this and this. And I mean, maybe it did end in a way that you would not wanted it to. But then why are you carrying that all over the place? Why are you making that such a thing that brings everything to a standstill in your life? The fact that when you ended that relationship, I mean, even if, okay, then the problem is this. Oh, now I am like feeling that relationship was the best. I shouldn't have let it go. Oh, it's gone. Forgive yourself and move on. Really, like that's all you can do. Okay, so if you are to try this, do it with the small things first. Don't start with the big story. Don't start with the big story. Don't start with a miscarriage story. Don't start with a huge story. Start with the small things. Start with, I know I'm supposed to be drinking 3 liters of water every day. Yesterday, I only drank 1 glass. Forgive yourself for not drinking the whole thing because you know it's supposed to fix your skin and this and this. But then once you forgive yourself for not drinking, you see tomorrow it's going to be easy. So start with the small things. I know one time I was pregnant and I was driving, so and when I'm pregnant, I'm normally very clumsy. So now I was tired. I could feel that I'm tired. So I'm tired and I'm clumsy. And when I'm tired, I fall asleep, like literally talking. So I was driving because I should have just took a nap at that parking lot in Joburg before driving home. But I was thinking, no, man, I just want to get home. I'm just exhausted. And I knew that I wasn't supposed to be doing this. And then I got into the car and guess what? It was raining and the traffic was moving slowly and I fell asleep. And I actually went off the road and the tire burst. And I was so guilty because I knew that I caused it. I knew it's like a person who causes an accident because they were on their cell phone. You know that person carries, and let's just say somebody dies. You know how much guilt that person carries, and it's never gonna go away until they forgive themselves. The person you need to forgive there is you, because if you don't, you're going to suffer a lot. Right now we have the pandemic. So many people think they might have infected other people who might lose their life or lost their lives. That is going to be a big problem. People need to forgive themselves thoroughly, quickly, because you don't want to carry that much load on your shoulders. It's just not okay. So Thank you for tuning in. I'm Busi Selesho, and make sure that you click on the subscribe button. Make sure that you click on the notification bell. Make sure that you click on the like button, and so that you can get the next video. So thank you so much for watching, and there is more videos like this, and it's not just because we should be making videos and then you should be watching, but these things, you're supposed to practice them. You're supposed to go and test them in your life. You're supposed to go and see if they really work, because I'm telling you, I am talking about stuff that has worked in my life. So try it in yours. Just try it. Just like literally do it for the purpose of trying it and see what happens. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.